This meeting is being recorded.
And has attendance been taken?
It has.
Thank you, sir. Approval of the minutes. As of now, I am the only commissioner present. So we'll bypass that since there can be no vote. Public comment. We do have one attendee. Attendee, if you would like to be recognized by the moderator, please raise your hand and you'll be unmuted.
Thank you.
All right, seeing no hand raised, we'll move on to the treasurer's report. Bill, you have any financials for us?
I do not today, Steve, no.
Okay, maybe you and I can talk about that in the next couple of days. I'd like to go over and do a collection at Fisherman's World so we have an idea as to where we are with permits.
Okay.
I know that they're certainly not short on permits or maps. When I went down to buy my personal one, I mean, they were still pretty well stocked. So
Okay.
it'd just be a good idea, good to know what the receipts are here as we're approaching.
I agree. Okay.
Midsummer.
Yeah, there's a new bait and tackle place on Winfield Street, right up near the Winfield Deli, where it used to be the Winfield Deli. I think you guys should go and investigate putting permits there or something if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely have to qualify that, and that would be another good resource for us.
Well, I heard he's doing real good business, so.
Wow. No, it's good for him. Committee reports, Department of Health.
Okay, for the month of June, we had 4.26 inches of rain. Last year, we had 2.43. Historically, it's 4.14. We had 2 closures on June 2nd and again on June 9th due to rainfall. And we had one bypass on June 15th, which was pretty significant on Strawberry Hill Road, which resulted in the closing of one of the Westport CA number 1 East for 10 days. But that was the only bypass for the month.
What was the nature of that, Bill? Was that a force main or something over there?
Yeah, it was a broken sewer line. It came up through the street. It was going at like 50 gallons a minute for a while into a catch basin. It ended up in one of the creeks a couple of creeks that lead, I think it's Indian Creek, maybe it goes over towards the Westport. And it was pretty significant for a while. It was going on for, say, a couple of hours anyway, hour and a half at that rate. So it was pretty significant for a while.
That sure is.
Yeah.
Wow. Mayor's Water Quality Committee, Chairman Schneerlein.
We just finished the most recent meeting, and we had several concerns that were brought up, and also some points that were made that look good so far. Dick and Bill both had commented about the Wilson Point Cove and how they've had high readings, but they've also had low readings and good readings. And it seems more a factor of the tide than anything else right now. So there seems to be, the only issue they have to look at is the drainage pipes that come in off of Old Trolley and into Wilson Cove. There was a concern about the water quality that was raised by Diane Lorisello, and she wants to expand our purview and get out more into the community. And she's going to take a look at how she can do that. Also, the USGS had a reading last month where off of the Maritime Aquarium, the dissolved oxygen was down below 2 parts per million. And it had gone unnoticed for a while. And then when I contacted Brittany, it's Becky. She said they had fouling issues at on the dissolved oxygen probe. And in my 12 years of operating a probe off of the aquarium there, from May until the beginning of September, you could get fouling and it could happen overnight. It was not something that you could always predict, but when it did happen, it would just tank the dissolved oxygen levels, and that's what they were getting. And then John Crespo asked afterwards about calibration of the equipment. He did this via email, because usually when you take equipment out of the water, you should calibrate it before you put it back in. And the answer to that was no. So we're going forward on that, and we're going to ask for their QAPP and calibration records if they have them. And the other issue we had, which could concern the Shellfish Commission, is the city recently banned pesticides that were of organic nature. Now, that's on public property. For anybody, now I'll be honest, I hated chemistry when I went through it. My student Steve has a PhD in it, but I do remember that organic chemistry, that a lot of the harmful pesticides are organic. So by allowing organic pesticides, they're still leaving the door open for the use of a lot of heavy hitting organic compounds like DDT, just to throw one out there that most people are familiar with. So I'm going to follow through on that and see if the city really knew what they were doing when they created that ban. And that's about it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Quick question. Do you know if anyone has a portable DO system within the city or the aquarium or otherwise?
I know the aquarium had them when I left. They had about 6 of them.
Okay. And they were sonde based? They weren't chemistry kits?
They were meters, dissolved
Okay.
oxygen meters.
So electrodes, yeah.
Yes, and they were YSI. I might be able to dig up model numbers if you want that at some point, but some of the newer ones, 2 or 3 of the newer ones, could be put on station and allowed to sample overnight. So when I ordered them, I ordered that with that specific ability to do that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And
if they're still over there, who would have access to them?
You would have to contact the president, and then he would tell you who's in charge there now, because that whole system has changed around quite a bit.
Right. They're probably way out of calibration, PM and all that by now.
Yeah, but the calibration of those is pretty easy. And
Yeah.
if you have the solutions, especially for the dissolved oxygen, it can be done very quickly.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Permits, we spoke about. Police are not present. Advisory.
If I could just add something regarding the police, didn't get it.
Sure.
This is regarding May, but Peter sent something over to me, so I just want to get it on the minutes at least, even though we're kind of a month removed from it. But
Please.
he did say that there were no arrests for May, and just activity in permitted areas has been light. That was the extent of it.
Great. The tides haven't been great either.
No.
Even last weekend, I mean, low morning tides, but they weren't that low for our recreational people. Advisory, Pete?
Okay, well, the water above 70 finally.
Yes.
At least this weekend it was. Oh, something else. Norman asked me something. I forgot what it was now. No one's here, so we couldn't even talk about it really. So when I remember, I'll call you, Steve, and you can mark it.
Dave,
That
Oh,
was
yeah,
good.
clarification, just quickly, where, when you take the measurement of water temp, where is that? Where are you basing that off of?
Who's the question for, John?
When I
I
take
think
water
it's-
temp
Yeah,
off my, GPS and my depth finder,
but is it in harbor or is it out in the broader sound?
I was out in, Cops Bay,
Okay, thank you.
and the harbor's a little bit warmer than that.
Yep.
Oh, incidentally, Norman is shelling again, so I meant to say that. He's spreading shell on the bed, so,
It's always good news.
well, time for them to start squirting, so.
It is.
Steve, if I can
Harbor
help,
Please.
Pete's post-granddaughter mind here. Starting June 25, it broke above, water temperature at Cove Marine broke above 70 degrees. And it has stayed above that most of the day. It appears to go down a little bit at night, but it's gotten as high as 74 degrees, and that's pretty warm. At the aquarium, it's let's see.
You're talking all in harbor stuff, right?
Yeah, that's at Cove Marine that I just gave you.
Yeah, that's all in, that's inside the islands.
Correct.
Yeah.
When you get outside, it's a little bit different
Yep, it was,
because it's not as shallow.
Sunday was 68.9 and Monday was 69.1, and then we hit 70.6. And then the other, yesterday, the day before yesterday was 71, 72, something like that.
Now, at the aquarium, on the bottom, it has been above 70 degrees from June 30th on. And it's gotten as high as 70, almost 75 degrees
At the aquarium,
at the aquarium.
that's probably because of the discharge across the,
Yep. And then also on the surface, it's actually been a little bit cooler, but it's still been above 70 degrees since June 30th.
So attributing these warmer temperatures to not a lot of rain, not a lot of freshwater input coming down. Certainly it hasn't been a very hot late spring into summer.
So sometimes, Steve, but in this case, if we get rain and it hits warm earth, and especially the paved surfaces,
Yeah,
it's actually coming in hot. So
Yeah.
your surface readings could be significantly higher than your bottom readings. and
with
that-
a fast spike with an afternoon thunder shower,
Yep.
Yep.
So that can play a critical role in what happens.
which will drop the oxygen immediately.
Absolutely.
Anything else on that, folks?
Nope.
Okay, I know that no one from Harbor could join tonight. Without a quorum, we can't approve the committee reports as spoken. Old business, there essentially is none. Does anyone have any new business to discuss? John?
No, I know we were talking about a get together in August at some point. I don't know if that's progressed at all or not.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on it. I think maybe we can get a message out to Joe M in that regard, just to see if he's wants to help us out with that. I'm all for it, for sure. Okay, the next meeting is July 7th, or excuse me, is August. July 7th is today. I don't have the first Thursday date down. I still have today's.
It's
Um,
August 4th, Steve.
4?
Yes,
Thanks, Bill.
you're welcome.
Can't entertain a motion to adjourn, but unless anyone has anything else, let's adjourn and we'll see everybody on the 4th.
Adios.
Hey, good night
Thank you
all.
Thank you all.
Be
Thanks for
good.
everything.